Hare Krishna. Good morning everyone. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat West London chapter morning program. We've worshipped Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Ju with songs and flowers and incense and ghee lamp and fan and so on, and sang beautiful songs of Bhakti Thakur, and then we circumambulated Tulsi Devi and offered our obeisances to her and all the devotees here in the temple and all around the world. And we've sang some beautiful songs of our acharyas. And now we're going to read something from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then I think maybe something from Sri Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, because we're coming to that time of year. January is very quickly disappearing, February is a short month, and Gaur Purnima is, I think, the 7th of March, so before we know it, it will be Navadvip Dham Parikrama time. So we're always happy to read this beautiful book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, to visit that place in our hearts and minds. So we're starting a new chapter in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 6 of the Adi Lila, which is the glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. So, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Vande Tang Shimad Advaita Charyam Adbhuta Cheshtitam Yasya Prasharad Agyopi Tat Svarupam Nirupayet. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Advaita Acharya, whose activities are all wonderful. By his mercy, even a foolish person can describe his characteristics. Very good. Even a foolish person can describe his characteristics by his mercy. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, so Kaviraj Goswami now is telling you what he's given just now and what he will continue to give as he lays the foundation of who is this, who am I going to be describing in this great work. And he's very old, he can't see very well. The devotees have asked him, please, you have to write this. This has to come out from your. So he's trying to write this book. So he says, Pancha Sloke Kailu Shri Nityananda Tattva, previous chapter, Nityananda Tattva, Shloka Dvaye Kahi Advaita Acharya Mahatva. In 5 verses I have described the principle of Lord Nityananda. Then in the following 2 verses I describe the glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Okay. Mahavishnu Jagat Kata Mayaya Yasrijatyadaha Tasyavatara Evayam Advaita Acharya Ishvaraha. It's the Sanskrit. Sanskrit, you can tell it even when it's, very badly and imperfectly chanted. You can feel some of the majesty and power of the Sanskrit shloka describing Advaita Acharya. Lord Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. And another Sanskrit one. Advaitam harinadvaitad acharyam bhakti sangshanat bhaktavataram isham tam advaitacharyam ashraya. Jai. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore I take shelter of him. Hare Krishna. Advaita Acharya Gosai Shakshadishvara. I've gone back to Bengali now. Yahara Mahima Nahi Jivara Gochara. It's got the soft sweetness of the Bengali after the powerful Sanskrit. There's the sweet sound of Mahaprabhu's native tongue, Bengali. Sri Advaita Acharya is indeed directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Sri Advaita Acharya is, who is he? He's directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. His glory is beyond the conception of ordinary beings. His glory is beyond the conception of ordinary living beings. Mahavishnu Shrishti Karena Jagat Adi Karya Tara Avatara Shakshat Advaita Acharya. Mahavishnu performs all the functions for the creation of the universes. Sri Advaita Acharya is his direct incarnation. Hare Krishna. Ye Parusha Shrishti Shtiti Karane Mayaya Ananta Brahmanda Shrishti Karana Lilaya. That Purusha creates and maintains with his external energy. He creates innumerable universes in his pastime. Ichaya Ananta Murti Karane Prakasha Ekka Ekka Murte Karena Brahmande Puravesha. By his will he manifests himself in unlimited forms, in which he enters each and every universe. Bless you. Se Purushara Angsa Advaita Nahi Kichubeda Shata Vishesha Tara Nahika Vicheda. Sri Advaita Acharya is a plenary portion of that Purusha. And so it is not different from him. So he is not different from him. Indeed, Sri Advaita Acharya is not separate, but is another form of that Purusha. So, what can we do? We're taking it on our head like this. We can only bow down to this, to Kaviraj Goswami's revealing the nature of Panchatattva. 5 truths. No, it was Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Svarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhakyam Bhaktam. What's the last line? Yam Bhakti Shaktikam. This Lord and his associates, who are all functions or personalities of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Different faces, different forms, but all part of that. The Great Spirit, the Supreme Lord. And the words that we keep hearing are Chamatkar, or Adoksaja, or Achintya, all these words that describe unimaginable, unattainable. What does Guru Maharaj say? It says beyond imagination. Cannot by our scholarly attempt or our anything like that cannot be conceived or understood in any way, shape or form. Utterly transcendental, with his own rhyme and reason. But through the grace of the devotees, we sing in the well, it's not just now, it's a while, but we were singing in Kartik the Damodarastakam. You make the impossible possible. By your will, all these things can be revealed. So that's how I'm reading the description of Sri Advaita, Sri Nityananda. And just to hear is purifying, even if we can't, list so many things and fully grasp who this personality is. Still, we're trying to hear the words of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Shahaya Karena Tare Laya Pradhana Koti Brahmanda Karena Ichaya Nirmana. He, Advaita Acharya, helps in the pastimes of the Purusha, with whose material energy and by whose will he creates innumerable universes. Jagat Mangala Advaita. Jagat Mangala Advaita. Mangala Gunadhama. Mangala Charicha Sada. Mangala Yara Nama. What does Mangala mean? Mangala? Mangalati.
Yeah.
You know what it means? Mangal? Anyone?
Auspicious.
Auspicious. Beautiful. Mangalati. The morning, beautiful arti. So when we hear Jagat, everything, Mangala Advaita, everything is auspicious about him. Being a reservoir of all auspicious attributes, Sri Advaita Acharya is all auspicious for the world. His characteristics, activities and name are always auspicious. And then let's read the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Sri Advaita Prabhu, who is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, is an Acharya or teacher. All his activities and all the other activities of Vishnu are auspicious. Anyone who can view the all auspiciousness in the pastimes of Lord Vishnu also becomes auspicious simultaneously. Therefore, since Lord Vishnu is the fountainhead of auspiciousness, anyone who is attracted by the devotional service of Lord Vishnu can render the greatest service to human society. Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of the living entities and as actual liberation of the living being from conditioned life become bereft of all devotional service because of their poor fund of knowledge. He's just saying how sad it is if we can't appreciate this, if we can't appreciate the glory and the wonder and the auspiciousness of these personalities. Okay. Koti Angsha, Koti Shakti, Koti Avatara, Etala Shrija Purusha, Shakala Samsara. So Koti, 10 million. Koti Angsha, Koti Shakti, Koti Avatara. Mahavishnu creates the entire material world with millions of his parts, energies, and incarnations. Millions. Millions and millions and millions. Oh, Hare Krishna. Mayacha Duyangsa Nimita Upadana. Maya nimitta hetu upadana pradana Purusha Ishvara Ache Dvimurti Haya Vishvashishta Karen Nimitta Upadana Laya. Just as the external energy consists of two parts, the efficient cause, nimitta, and the material cause, upadana, Maya being the efficient cause and pradana the material cause, so Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, assumes two forms to create the material world with the efficient and material causes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, but will I be able to answer it? I don't know, but please do.
The efficient and the material.
Yeah, I'm looking for the purport now. And it's a long purport. It's a very long purport. It's a long, long purport. Oh my goodness, it's pages long, the purport to this verse. So probably the best thing would be to read this, because just like that, it's beyond, and you know, I've tried many times with various parts of the Chaitanya Charita. See, this is all the purport. It's very long. The Lord is Akila Rasamrita Murti, right? He's the personification of sweetness and charm and ecstasy. Rasa, emotional, divine sentiment, divine emotion that is shared with his beloved Srimati Radharani and his friends and family. And that is his business. That's what he does. So he is the cause of everything, but he's not leaving the picnic in Vrindavan because there's some very nice kachoris in somebody's basket, and he's going to find who's got the kachoris and he's going to be eating those, probably with this hand. But still, the material universes are coming out and so many things are happening. So he has expansions and expansions of expansions and expansions of expansions. Koti Shakti. Koti is 10 million. Koti Shakti. Millions and millions of, we have the Das Avatar, as that have been shown as principal in this, principal avatars or descents of personalities of Godhead. But there's millions and billions of those in every planet, in every species, just inconceivable. So I think that's the point that's being made, but I could be wrong, is that there's the Lord himself, he's not concerned with those things. He's concerned with his own relishing of the divine wave, the divine heart of Srimati Radharani and the devotees, all his friends and family. And now, because as Srila Prabhupada would say, this is scientific. This is not whimsical or whimsical or sentiment. This can be described in great detail how the material worlds come out, how the living entities enter them, and all these things in the Srimad Bhagavatam in a lot of detail, also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The amount of personalities who can actually absorb it and it's not everybody's. We're just hearing that. Someone may have more appreciation than another. And certainly Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj could explain everything. But those things were not the core message. Because in many ways you can say it doesn't really matter to us. I am here, and I am adharma. I am, Rupa and Sanatan, when they came in front of Mahaprabhu, they're praying Mattalo Nashti Papatma. Atma, Pap, sin Atma. I am a sin Atma. That is me, Papatma. Na paradi chakasyana parihare pilajame kim guruve purushottama. This is Rupa and Sanatan praying. When they came first to Ram Keli in front of Mahaprabhu, they'd taken off they had all the Muslim, one was the Prime Minister and one was the Finance Minister. They were big, important personalities in the Muslim government. They were Hindu by caste, by birth, but they were Vaishnavas, but they'd taken this. And they came to Mahaprabhu and they took off all the fine clothes of the government ministers and dressed very simply. And they came and from full hearts they're praying to Mahaprabhu. I am just contaminated. I'm full of sin. I haven't got anything to offer. Guru Maharaj says, usually when we offer something to the deities, we take something clean and pure. And we have so many rituals to do to make the flower offerable or the this, that and the other. But then look, how am I going to offer myself? I'm not clean or pure. And I haven't got anything like that. This is that. So how do we move so good, So the core, everyday preaching of our guardians was, Srila Govindamar Chanada Pisani Jena Tarori Basahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Siddhari. There's nothing else that works. Must be like that, not to criticize, to offer. This is this pranam, it's the yoga, it's how my posture to the environment, like this, not like this, like this, right? I remember Chudandi Maharaj saying, if in this lifetime I can just not criticize, only that. Nothing else. If I can just do that, what an auspicious life this would be. If I can just do that. So Gurudev always, again and again and again. Guru Maharaj, the environment is your friend. Revolutionary. I remember Kumkum Didi saying, when we came, somehow or other, we'd come to the conclusion that the environment is the enemy, we have to get out of here. It's all bad and Maya and we got to get out. And then came to Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj says, no, there's no fault in any of it. There's no fault in any of it. It's doing what it's doing. You have to see the Lord behind everything. His tatenu kampam susamikshamano. Nothing's coming to you blindly. He says there is no anarchy in the play. There's no anarchy. He is the author. He is given. So what is coming now to me has come first under his loving, affectionate, sweet eye, and said, okay, yes, this can come to you. So these were the things that are presented to us. This is your sadhana. This is your project to move through this life with this kind of understanding, to see in that way. So many things are given in the scriptures of things which we may or may not understand. We're hearing, we go through the Chaitanya Charitamrita from the beginning to the end, and but our guardians have presented to us what are what should be given the most prominence, or the most important for us. So, thankfully. So maybe I should stop here anyway and read. Are we going to read from Navadvip Dhammahatmya? Or should I carry on? I don't know what to do. This is verse for those who want to do homework. This is text 14 and 15 of this chapter, where Srila Prabhupada has given several pages of purport, and he's quoting Baladev Vidyabhushan and the Govinda Bhasya. He's quoting Kapila. He's quoting many of the great philosophers, and but it's quite frankly.
Can I ask something?
Please.
I thought also, like, maybe you can elaborate on it. Like, everything is a personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything is a manifestation of consciousness. Right?
Yes.
To see
Oh,
that,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, that other important, Guru Maharaj saying the environment is our friend, and then always, these are just radical. This is why everyone came to Guru Maharaj, and why Saraswati Thakur, chose him for that service to carry the current of Rupa Goswami. Everything is existing in consciousness. Everything, it always come into the conscious plane. Always come into where my conscious is, what it's doing, where it's meditating, how it is digesting, how it is seeing. There, that's the school, that's the workshop, that's the schoolroom, that's the
playground.
The playground, eventually, yeah. That is the playground in that upper conscious world, the superconscious realm. Because otherwise it's so easy to become bewildered by external things. And so many things. And our natural tendency is to see everything that I am the noble victim, and everything else is, is the problem is, in whatever it is, and Guru Maharaj pulling us out of that continually, saying no. And and the nature of reality, the beautiful, in the introduction to Prapana Jivanamrita, there's like 8 or 9 page introduction to the book. And it's probably the greatest single, short essay on spiritual life anywhere. And in there he talks about vilas. And so we usually, or often we hear vilas as translated as pastimes. But he said vilasa is like the forward rolling motion of reality. Vilas. And it's full of sweetness, and it's full of ecstasy, and it's too much beautiful, and it's going on. That's what's happening. That is the truth. Everything is existing in consciousness. Why aren't I seeing that? Because of my consciousness. Because I'm trying to chant this mantra that's been given, but I'm making so many mistakes. I'm not doing it right. So many problems are coming, and then Gurudev saying yes. So that's why after Ch.Ch and Majana, the first verses of the Shikshastakam, well, why isn't it working? And then we come to Trinadapi Samichena, Tarori Vasahishnana. That is, when you can do that, when we're really feeling that, then holy name can come. So We're so fortunate. It's beyond imagination, actually, to come in the line of Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev. What they're giving is absolutely pristine, unique, and all the great Vaishnavas, all those disciples of Saraswati Thakur, who were huge, strong, wonderful sadhus of the highest order, came to Guru Maharaj, living in a hut. Didn't have a big anything. Had a few pieces of cloth. He drank water. He took a little prasadam. But his depth of understanding of the nature of reality and the movement of the sweet absolute, his beloved Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, was unparalleled anywhere. And by some miraculous event, he gave it in English. Everything that he collected over all those decades, everything that he'd absorbed, came out for the Western section. He didn't speak that way in Bengali. It wasn't like all the Bengalis were sitting around and Guru Maharaj was giving what's come out in the books and everything else. That was drawn out by the Western devotees who only got upstairs through the mercy of Govinda Maharaj. And then this stream came out. Everything from his whole lifetime of service to Srila Saraswati Thakur came out of Srila Guru Maharaj and changed the world, really. All those devotees who came, who had had a foundation with, of surrender and service with Srila Prabhupada. And then they came to Srila Guru Maharaj and were for further polishing, came to him. So,
before they came to him, he hadn't given to an audience
yes.
these talks in English. He hadn't done it.
In English? Yes.
Before the devotees of Srila Prabhupada came to him, he hadn't done it before to give these talks.
Right. And not these talks, of course, he'd been preaching his whole life, but, he had a simple mat, and the activities of the mat are going on, and everyone's very happy, but it was and he would say that he was born to preach in English, he would say. And some phrases, some of his sutras, like subjective evolution of consciousness, even if he was talking in Bengali, when he came to that phrase, he would say in English, because he was very happy with that particular way that concept is caught with that subjective evolution of consciousness. Super subjective. And like that, some of those things that absolutely Guru Maharaj, he found the English, he found the right words for that in English. So, it's all divine arrangement, and Saraswati, Srila Saraswati Thakur knew that, and we've heard many times that he was, asked to sing Sri Rupa Manjari Padas. He was leaving the world, and everyone felt that transmission of the current of Rupa Goswami. This kind of Paramahansa Dharma Jnana Shikshara Prachara. Paramahansa Dharma. Just the word. The swan-like. Why is it Paramahansa? What's the Paramahansa? The Paramahansa is the swan-like, graceful sadhu that can go anywhere and can take the milk and water that's mixed. It means whatever situation. You know, in Kali Yuga, it's unlikely to be even water that it's mixed with. It's some kind of dirty substance, and will extract the milk from that, the sweetness, and the hope, and the nourishment from any situation. And everyone would come to him, and he would, you know, even people who had some difference with him, or were fighting with him, they would come to him and say, please, we've still got to hear from you, because you are, you know, equipoised, and you're not caught up with any mundane concern. You're only and always looking for the divine substance in everything, every day, every time, always. And that's what he's trying to give up to us. This vision. You know, the Maya, that's you. It's not any situation or anything else. It's your consciousness is polluted. And that is our endeavour, by the service to the Vaishnava, by hearing, by chanting, by our service, by our desire, ultimately, by our layolya. If we want that, then they will give. Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, all Prabhupada said again. In fact, Gurudev, in his beautiful English, would say, if you want this, then it must will come to you. It must will come to you. Hare Krishna. Very nice loud conch. Very nice conch blowing. Jaya. What's happening?
Very nice, very beautiful explanations, everything.
What is funny for me is that it seems like, yes, we have to be on the right level of consciousness, to be aware that it's all about our consciousness of the environment, but we also, it seems like we also need to be of a nice environment for the other consciousnesses. Be ourselves a nice environment for them, not provoke in them lust or anger or any bad qualities. Ourselves, not to provoke that in the others. And what is so the qualities that we are supposed to develop, to be very respectful, tolerant, etc., are, it's very funny because it's feed ourselves, our consciousness of the environment, but it also feeds our attitude. It also has impact on the environment we are creating for the others. Is that understandable?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's beautiful.
Yes.
For us and for the others.
Yes. Right. Yes, we always have decisions to make and to accept. We're told to accept the favourable and reject the unfavourable, and this in the course of our lifetimes, we'll find ourselves in many situations, in different places, with different people, and some of those situations will be easier for us to navigate, and some of those situations will be more difficult for us to navigate. But this Paramahansa Dharma, it's on our altar. Let's say it's on our altar, and that is a wonderful thing. That however far I am away from that, at least I've been granted, I've been gifted some kind of idea of, well, that is divine, some divine thing, some divine way of moving through life. So we want to keep that, and the only way to keep that alive is through association with the devotees, and to keep it, to hear Shravanam first, Shravanam Kirtanam. Shravanam comes first. We have to hear the words of the holder of that Rupanugadara, and then in the association of devotees, then we'll go on to whatever comes, up and down, and side to side, we'll go on somehow. And life is very short, we know it. And then we shall see. But in this lifetime, we're very fortunate to have any connection with that kind of vision, that kind of heart. Very lovely. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful. It's actually only the mind and the senses will kick in, right? It's the soul and the consciousness is pure. And only it's the mind who comes with all these identifications or negativities.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Controlling, like to control the wind. That's okay. But we see we're worshipping those devotees whose mind is only serving, is engaged in the service. And Guru Maharaj giving the answer to that, like the devotee asking, I'm just like, I'm going this way and that way, and everything, I'm being pulled by the Kam, Krodh, Lobh and everything. The desperate prayer of Narottam Das Thakur we sang this morning. I'm being pulled by my enemies in so many different directions. I don't know which way to go. And asking a devotee asking Guru Maharaj, so what am I going to do about this? And he said that mind has to be occupied with, his word was responsible seva, with something that occupies the mind, responsible seva that uses it, because if it's used in service, it's not got the time or opportunity to run so easily in a wrong direction. That was Guru Maharaj's prescription for that. To try and rein in the crazy mind, the puggle mind. And all the Vaishnavas, show that. What was it in Gopinath? What is it? Mani Pagalamora. Anyway, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings about his crazy mind. And we know his mind didn't have a millionth of a second to go anywhere, because he was just a tsunami of Krishna consciousness, books, songs, finding the holy Dham, interacting with so many people, High Court judge, 11 kids. I mean, he didn't have a second to like, but still he's showing that that is our position. What can I do? Oh, Gopinath, please, oh, Vaishnav Thakur, please give your mercy. And they have, you know. People would go to Gurudev saying, oh Gurudev, please, I need your mercy. And he said, I'm giving so much mercy. What are you doing with it? Is the pocket got some hole in it? I think your pocket has a hole. Because I'm giving. You know? So we've received, there's no question, the fact that we're sitting here now, it means that we've got so much mercy. And we're praying to Nityananda Prabhu, praying to Mahaprabhu, praying to our Gurudevs to keep us in this classroom, you know. Even however many times I mess it up, let me keep trying. Let me be in the school. Don't expel me, anything like that. Keep me at your level. Trying to do that. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful things.
Anything else?
Sripad has a question.
Yeah, no.
My question was then, we have a responsibility towards our environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how it has to be understood.
Yeah.
Because when we think it's about the consciousness we have of the world, then we could think, if this person, for example, feels offended by me, it's her problem, it's because of her level of consciousness. I'm not responsible for that. But actually, we have a certain degree of responsibility. I mean,
yes. Because it's the Lord coming to me. It is, the environment is prasadam, if we can see in that way. It's not coming from anarchy. Not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. And whether it goes this way or that way in the wind, Guru Maharaj says is full of infinite meaning. Which way that grass is blowing, for his vilas, for the forward rolling movement of sweetness. So yeah, this is the posture, and this is you who come to me to adjust me and give me my what is necessary for me to change me, So this is it's this posture that I am for you, and just to show me in any situation what is my savor. What is my savor? And the savor may be, in one situation like that, to try and help a person or try to communicate. Another situation it might be to withdraw. We don't know that. That is our sadhana. Is that what should I do now? And we're always going to be stepping off a cliff, because ultimately we have to choose, what do I do? And of course we have Guru and Shastra and our friends and family. What should I do in this situation? I don't know. I can ask this devotee, I can ask that devotee. Maybe they say the same thing, maybe they say different. And then eventually I have to say, well, my Lord, I think that I'm going to have to go this way. So how it will change necessarily. But no, what you're saying is absolutely right. That's and then in that shloka, Tattenu Kampan, which Guru Maharaj says in different places, is the most important shloka. He says, when you begin to see like that, when you're trying to see like that, then very quickly you're coming into the spiritual world. Because you're seeing it as spiritual. So of course you are. You're moving into the spiritual world when you're seeing with that vision. It's so beautiful. And so, this is Paramahamsa Dharma. This is the most refined and subtle and wonderful. This is way beyond any religion or anything like that. This is how to move as a servant of that wave of wonder that is the personality of Godhead in different ways, but we have come in the line of the most beautiful Srimad Mahaprabhu, who is, we're going to read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, who is this personality, So it's the real thing, the greatest adventure of our lives. Guru Maharaj saying like that. That's what this process is. Many stages we'll have to go through, and many revisions of how we are, what we're thinking, and how we're seeing it.
So, Prabhu, one last question. So, for example, in a very concrete way, if a person is envious of us, for example, we should think, I have responsibility in it. I have somehow provoked that.
Yeah.
That should.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to think.
Should be then the correct way to think.
Yes.
It seems like.
Yes, we can think like that. Where is my fault in this situation? And maybe we can find it, and we can make some harmony with that by our actions or words. Or maybe we can't. Maybe it's not in our capacity to do anything about it. Could be either way. There's the famous story of somebody some crazy person phoning Srila Govinda Maharaj about something, and he was, talking nonsense and nasty and down the phone, and then it got to the stage where the other Maharajas, like Janardhan Maharaj or Ashram Maharaj or somebody else, were saying, Gurudev, don't take this call from this man, we'll deal with it. And Srila Gurudev saying, no, Krishna wants me to hear something. And then he would think, and maybe he would say, actually he's a crazy man, or maybe he would think on something, and Abhijit Maharaj said he would be how did he put it, like accessing the anyway, I can't remember, but and Gurudev would have to think about that. It wouldn't necessarily like immediately. He would meditate on that. Hold that as prayerfully, like, why has this happened? What can I do to, be a positive influence on this? And can I? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Like when he first got the house in Vrindavan, Guru Maharaj had told, don't make many temples. Do not make many temples. It will you will be so distracted by the maintenance and running of many temples. He said you can make a temple in Puri and in Govardhan and in Vrindavan. And then in Navadvip. So a few temples. So when Gurudev came to Vrindavan, he had the order, not just the blessings, but the order of Guru Maharaj to make a temple in Vrindavan. So he was perfectly allowed to do that. But still his very cautiously moving into the Dham. And then some land was found, and it was little outside. It was on the Parikram path, but little outside. And then Gurudev made some little house there. And then a big storm came and knocked it down. And Gurudev was saying, I don't build weak, rubbish houses. It was strong, but I mean, sometimes the weather in India is just there's hailstones this big falling. And crazy things happen. Yeah. This house fell down, and Gurudev thinking, and you know what he was thinking of. Have I made some offence here or something? That must have been what he was thinking. What have I done that this has happened? As it was because the Lord had other plans for Vrindavan, and by a mysterious phone call on a phone that didn't work, someone called from Vrindavan and said, "Oh, is that Srila Govinda Maharaj? We have a piece of land for you. It's right next to the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami. It's right next to Radha Damodar, and we're calling you because everybody's going to want this land, but we want you to have it." Came. So, or when one German girl, Sita, she painted this picture of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and gave it to Gurudev. And Gurudev's like, it was from one that we've seen where he's in the forest and he's writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita gate. And Gurudev's thinking, he's not just saying, "Oh yeah, it's a great picture, thank you." He's thinking, why? Why is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami come to me? She could have drawn Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Guru Maharaj, Radha. She chose Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Why? And he kept that picture in his room for some time, years, and then, along with when this land came in Vrindavan, as part of that land was the place on the other side of the little lane, Seva Kunj, the place of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, where he stayed, where he lived, where no doubt he wrote some of the shlokas of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where his deities, Shri Radha, Vrindavan, Chandra, who are now in the Radha Damodar temple next door, would have been. So then he said, oh, and he made the nice altar, and he took this picture that had been in his bedroom, and he put it on the altar. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So yeah, that's how the Vaishnavas are looking, and then deciding how to act in any given situation, how to see it. So of course, if we offend somebody or somebody's feeling, then we can try with what is within our power to harmonise and rectify a situation. Or it may not be in our power, it may not be. And that's why sometimes we're encouraged to, in some circumstances we may be very close, and in other circumstances we may be a little distant, so we can still give honour but not get involved in something that we don't want to, so.
The best attitude, the most valid one would be the respect, tolerance.
Yeah, that's what's going to save us.
Yeah.
That's what's going to save us, if we can try to do that, right? And Gurudev's saying, and after 80 years, after my whole life, him speaking, I can say, it's the only thing that works. Mm-hmm. It's not like, it's like, no, if you want to move through this life, in the best way, then that is the way. There's nothing else that will help us to do that. So, this is our sadhana bhakti. We're trying to remember these things, and then, as possible, by us to act on them and be reminded of them continually. Otherwise, which is why we have temples and programs and association of the devotees to remind us, because we don't know where we're going to be flung at any minute. Now we're all here, but in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, where will we be? Who will be with? What situation will we be in? We don't know.
It's really beautiful to see that this attitude, the respectful, tolerant one, is valid for all circumstances.
Right.
anticipate all troubles or give answer to all troubles. It's magical, the magical. It's really.
Didn't Gurudev call it that, or was that Srila Prabhupada calling it the magic formula or something like that? Yeah, I remember that expression. Perhaps that was Srila Prabhupada who called it the magic formula. The magic formula. Easy to say, very difficult to do. And become, very difficult to do, oh my goodness. But this is our, Guru Maharaj would say, it's our aspiration that's important. We're all about the hankering, the power of hankering, the power of aspiration, and that feeling, that mood, not about attainment. So it's healthy for us to see myself as I am and to understand my fallen condition, but by the mercy of the Vaishnavas come to pull me out. So
I think Sri Govinda Maharaj said we should wear it like a necklace around.
Oh yes, beautiful. Wear it like a necklace. Yes. So.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful class of Sripad. Keshavananda
Just
Prabhu.
happy to read. Who will sing Hari? You can sing Hari Hare Rama Krishna?
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Namaha.
Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govindaram Shri Madhusudana.
Gopala Govindaram Shri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana.
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanda.
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanda.
Radha Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Hare Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Raghunatha.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Raghunatha.
Shri Bhagavata Bhakta Raghunatha.
Shiva Gopala Bhakta Raghunatha.
Sarva Sarva Charanavandana.
Jaya Gopala
Jai Sakaya Sisi Guru Goranga Sri ki
Jai.
Yamil Pashla Bhakti Nirmalacha Maharaj ki
Jai.
Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Matsi Acharya Vrinda
Ki
ki
Jai.
Yamil Pashla Bhakti Suna Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Yamil Pashla Bhakti Lokok Shri Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Yamil Pashla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki
Jai.
Shri Rupa Varga ki
Jai.
Acharya Shri Maharaj Thakur ki
Jai.
Jai Bhakti Devi Dayat Rasvili ki
Jai.
Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki
Jai.
Chaitanya Saraswat Mat East and West Roman Chapter ki
Jai.
Sri Anantikoti Vaishnavina ki
Jai.
Sripad Keshavananda Prabhu ki
Jai.
Sri Harinama Sankirtan ki
Jai.
Anantikoti Vaishnavina ki
Jai.
Worldwide devotees ki
Ki Jai.
Gaur Prabhu.
Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.